an experience with us today. If you can hold on a second, I would like to quickly show this girl for the benefit of recording. Sorry. Okay, so this is our first speaker, Professor Dr. Suprana, and he will be sharing with us on transforming relationship. And I think he's going to add more to that. He will also be with us tomorrow and a day after tomorrow to share with us on branding, personal branding. So if I will be you in every ramification, personal branding is so very, very important, either as a business owner or entrepreneur or a leader or a president or ambassador, or even as a student and also an employee, as well as employer. Please join us also tomorrow. So today is the beginning of his section. And if you have anybody that can benefit from this, of course, this online masterclass is free. So why not invite many, many that you love them to progress in their lives, in their relationship, to join us. So on this occasion, we welcome Professor Dr. Subrata.
Yeah, so thank you so much, respected, revered Ma, Professor Dr. Elizabeth Lucas, Madam. I'm really grateful for being given this opportunity. And also, I would like to thank all the respected ambassadors and all the learned members from across the world to join in my session. So very good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you. So, just before I start my session, when we talk about transformation, it means that we are at a particular level and we want to move to another level. So that is transformation. So there has to be, a quantum jump from one level to the other. So what I'll do is, uh, before I start, let me share with you a small joke. And, this was actually an incident and a situation which I want to share with all of you. So what happened is there was one husband and wife who were always at odds. That means whatever the wife said, the husband did not agree to it. And whatever the husband said, the wife also did not agree to it. But there was one particular day and time when both of them agreed on one aspect. Any guesses? So it was the day when their house caught on fire and both of them fled through the same gate. They had to. Okay. So they had to use the same gate. So what I'm trying to say is that, you see, when we talk about relationships, it has to be sustainable relationships and relationships wherein we value each other. So I'll just try to share my presentation. I'll share my screen. Yeah, I think it's visible.
Yes.
Okay. So I'll speak on relationships, and when we talk about
Do you want to make
relationships,
it bigger?
yeah. So when we talk about relationships, relationships are transactional, transformational, relationships, and also we have laissez-faire relationships. So myself, I am Dr. Subrata Chattopadhyay. I am presently a professor at an institution called Institution of Engineering and Management in Kolkata in India. So before we start, there are certain central questions. So the question is, how do leaders create and sustain the changes in relationships? And the next, very important, is what style of relationship and leadership is needed to motivate people to undertake change? So these are, the key questions that we have to address at this point of time, taking into consideration that we are into turmoil times. So we say that we are in VUCA times, and people say that we are in bunny times. So volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous times. And relationships, be it personal, be it professional, right, has to be such that they should be sustainable in nature and should lead to a lot of trust, faith, and confidence. And people should confide on you so that you can actually instill value and confidence unto them. So, what is transactional leadership and transactional relationship? So, as you can understand, the concept of transactional relationship is about exchange between the leader and the group members. So, herein, the leader provides the resources and the rewards in exchange for motivation, productivity, effective goal, or task accomplishments. So, having said that, what are the different types of transactional leadership? First of all, is as I said, transaction is basically an exchange. So the contingent reward, the first is that you positively reinforce inappropriate behaviors. So if there are inappropriate behaviors or appropriate behaviors are there, inappropriate behaviors you negatively reprimand, and positively you reinforce the appropriate behaviors. So negatively reinforce inappropriate behaviors and positively reinforce appropriate behaviors. So you can understand that these are at different points of time. And since these are at different points of time, so it is an exchange. And that's why it is called transactional leadership. So it is highly ineffective and or satisfying to all. Now, let us understand another concept, which is called management by exception. What do you understand by this? So in active management by exception, what you do is that you monitor groups and you correct mistakes. And there is certain other concept, which is a laissez-faire management by exception, wherein you leave the group alone and only interact when there are challenges. Okay. So there are different types of transactional relationships, and active MBE and laissez-faire management by exception are two examples of transactional relationships. Now, what are the downsides of transactional leadership? First is that there are low expectations. That means that the team and has very low expectations from the leader. So only at times when it is required, the leader may interfere, and hence the expectations are low. Also, in case of a transactional relationship, the accomplishments are minimal in nature. So you don't achieve more, right? I always say that when you are working as a team, so the word itself, it can be said that team means T for together, E for each, A for achieve, and M for more. So together, each achieve more. But then in a transactional relationship, you have minimal accomplishments and the expectations are low. The levels of satisfaction are also very low. And as it is incidental, as it is transactional, so the focus is more on short term, immediate outcomes only. It is not a long term, sustainable leadership or a relationship that is there between the leader and the team. Now, let us come to, straight away to personal relationships. So when we talk about personal relationships, right, we talk about our family, our immediate family, our extended family, and so on. So there are different types of conflicts that are there. First of all, on financial conflicts are there. So say, for example, uh, you have very good relations and you have done a lot in your life to sustain your family. You have, so you as a husband or wife, you have worked very hard so that the family sustains. And when you pass away, right, many a times it so happens that your family members do say, oh, he has passed away, so what has he left for us, right? So it is a financial conflict. So you are not remembering the person and the things that he has done, and you are thinking that it was his duty and that's why he had done so. So immediately you forget everything, and you raise concerns about finances, right? The next is career conflicts. Nowadays, we see that uh, we have DI families. So DI means double income families. So husband and wife both working, right? Children are also working, right? Now, it may so happen that there are career conflicts in the family, which may disturb personal relationships. Okay. So maybe, the husband and wife both are doctors, right? Now, why one is more successful than the other, there may be conflicts. Or there may be conflicts as regards, their views about a particular patient or a particular case that they are handling. So career conflicts are also, very imminent in personal relationships. Then there are conflicts in the society. So societal conflicts are there, right? So societal conflicts maybe, among the different categories of people that are there in the society. There may be societal conflicts. So their choices and preferences may differ, and that may lead to conflicts. So say, for example, if there is uh, a marriage, right, of a person who is from a very well-to-do family and belongs to a high-class society, and maybe he or she has invited a person who is not from a well-to-do family, right, and the person attends the marriage. So many a times it is seen that people do look down upon those people, right? So you should actually not have such a notion of the societal uh, strata, so to say, but you should accept people as they are. You should respect the humanity. You should respect the people, not remembering their income or the societal class from which they belong. I started with family conflict. So, family conflicts are on the rage. And these days, there is a lot of stress, right? So, because of this stress, what happens is that many a times uh, there are family conflicts. Uh, with the permission of respected ma, can I take a personal example? So my father always used to say, I don't know about other countries, but then he used to say that when there is a marriage, right, in the first year, the wife listens to what the husband has to say, and in the second year, the husband listens to what the wife has to say, and the third and the continuing years, the husband and wife, whatever they say, the society listens to it. so so it is the conflict, it is the quarrel which goes out in public. And these days, because of social media, people are also venting their conflicts and their their differences out in social media. It becomes public, so your family affairs are also becoming public. There are gadgets, there are technological gadgets like Alexa and so on, right, which keeps on recording uh, whatever you say at home, right? And what happens is they are connected to internet servers, and the companies do know about what you are doing in your family. So, it is out in public. So these are things which are not acceptable, but then it results in a lot of uh, glitches in the personal relationship space. Now let us also delve into transformational leadership and relationship. So what is transformation, right? The ability to get people to want to change and to lead change. And I'm so happy in this platform, respected Ma and all of you ambassadors. You all are ambassadors for change, right? You all lead change. So, what are the elements of transformational leadership? The first is inspiration, motivation, charisma. So, you should be such a person that you are very respected in the society, in the global fraternity, across different countries, across different cultures. So, you should have that inspiration and charisma around. Next is intellectual stimulation. So this continuous efforts of revered Ma, Dr. Elizabeth, it is actually intellectual stimulation for all of us. So we are intellectually very sound. We learn a lot of things from all your learnings. So we keep on learning. So intellectual stimulation is another very, very important perspective of transformational leadership. The next is individual consideration. So a great leader and a great transformational relationship expert takes into consideration individual considerations also, right? So, it is not only about the team, but also knows individuals and has an important role in transforming their lives. So I've already talked about inspiration and charisma. So it is basically to create an emotional bond between the leader and the group. The next is, if you want to achieve an emotional bond between the leader and the group, how do you do it? So as I said, that intellectual stimulation is very important. So it actually challenges the group to identify and solve the challenges, which results in out of the box thinking. So, a great leader actually practices transformational relationship in the sense. So, as I say, that the matchsticks in a matchbox, right? They do not come out of themselves and get ignited. So, it needs a great leader to take a matchstick out of the matchbox and ignite. And the moment it, the leader ignites, then there is a spark, and that is out of the box. So most of us, we confine ourselves within the matchbox, within the box. So we are limited within our boundaries. We do not think out of the box. So a great leader actually intellectually stimulates the team and the group members so that they can think out of the box. Now, I'll come to this another important perspective about the role of personal relationships in growth. So, as we know that personal relationships actually help us to learn and grow, and it can also hinder personal growth. So, I talked about the positive and the negative aspects. Personal relationships provide emotional support, they foster personal accountability, and that is the reason it is very important in choosing healthy relationships in personal life. So moving on, moving on, let us just a minute. There's a glitch. The slide is not moving. Yeah. So what is the impact of work-life balance and personal relationships? So nowadays we see a lot of these things happening. So people are increasingly stressed out and burnt out. So because of work related issues and people cannot balance their work and life, personal life and professional life. So there is a lot of stress. People have to work for long hours, right? People have to balance between work from home and work from office. Then there is limited quality time that people spend. You will see in even in personal gatherings when the family gathers for lunch or dinner, right? People are busy with their mobile phone, and even if they are interacting, they are actually not looking to the eyes and not understanding. They are just replying monotonically. They are not taking care of what is being discussed, right? Neglected self-care. This is another important thing. People are not taking care of themselves, and that is resulting in stress-related diseases. Role strain and conflicts are increasingly there. So that is another important aspect which is actually disturbing the relationships. Then role of employee benefits is again there, which is related to work life. Then there is also impact on romantic relationships. The importance of communication and boundaries is again, very important. We should know that when to speak what and to whom and where. So that is very important. People are many a times they forget the boundaries when they are speaking. So, you know, just a summary of what I have discussed so far. We have discussed about inspiration and charisma, that how inspiration and charisma builds and sustains an emotional bond that overcomes the psychological and emotional resistance to change. We talked about intellectual stimulation, which provides new solutions and innovations, which empowers the new members. And the third is individual consideration, so which actually encourages the members because they actually know about the leaders. Now we come to another form of relationship and a leadership form, which is transcendent leadership. Now, what is this? We all are connected. Humankind is not divided by false distinctions such as race, gender, or even culture, but is one species with multitude of histories and experiences. So when we talk about transcendence, it involves a climate of trust. And how do you create a climate of trust? You walk the talk. So whatever you say, you do. Information sharing, transparency, and disclosure. And these are values which for which people would be respected. meaningful participation in all aspects of the event, collective decision making consensus. So it is not you taking the decision, but it is collective decision from all making a consensus. And then we have protecting and valuing divergent views. So if you want that the relations to thrive, then you have to protect and value the divergent views. You have to take everyone into consideration and redefine the of roles and associates. So who is a transcendent leader then in relationships? And what are the characteristics? One, the transcendent leader is reflective, is value centered, is global in perspective, is a facilitator of dialogue and deliberation, is open minded, and has service above self. Okay. Now we come to the role of emotional intelligence in personal relationships, as I said. So when you are practicing transcendent relation, you have to understand emotions. Empathy is very important in relations. You have to communicate and you have to understand from the other person's shoes. You have to manage emotions, you have to undergo conflict resolution. And as I said, empathy is very important, right? So, what are the benefits of healthy boundaries? We were talking about boundaries and expectations in personal relationships. And this is actually the case of a transcendent uh, a relationship provider, a leader. One is promote respect and trust, foster emotional intimacy, improve communication, and reduce conflict. So, again, in a nutshell, what I said, transactional is give something to get something. Transformational is go beyond self, interests for the good of the whole. And transcendental is service above self. Okay. So, the to rule or govern is easy, but to lead is difficult. So that's about my master class, my session today. Thank you so much, uh, respected Ma and all the ambassadors for giving me this opportunity. If you have any questions, uh, we can have those questions. I hope all of you liked the session. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Professor Subrata, for this wonderful masterclass of transforming relationship that you have started with us today, which is very clear and very, my own personal, have understood it. And I want to believe that everyone that is on this platform, our great leaders, you have listened to Professor Subrata and you are ready for your questions. So that we can clarify what we've heard and also gain a better understanding of what has been said. Before I now start mentioning names for them to ask questions, if they are not voluntarily asking questions, may I first of all use this opportunity to express our gratitude to Dr. Ambassador Omotola Shobowale, Ambassador Sarah Samuel, Ambassador Amodu Kurama, Ambassador Roland Johnson, and Ambassador Lukman Nuruddin, my PA, for joining us today. Many of our great leaders have joined us earlier, and I believe because probably they have one thing or the other to do today as Monday morning, and also with the connectivity. So some of them has been out and in and out, and I believe that they will join us soon. I also want to express my gratitude to all our great leaders on the Facebook. Thank you so much. I can see all your comments and your signals. There's your signs, and just to let us know that you are really enjoying the lesson today. Thank you so much. Okay, right. Let me start from Ambassador Omotola Shobowale. We would like you to comment and also ask questions. Dr. Ambassador Omotola Shobowale, are you here? Okay,
Hello, ma.
yes.
Hello, can you hear me, ma?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay.
Even
Thank you so
even though I can't see you, but I can still hear you.
It is well, ma. Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from every part of the country. Thank you so much for all you do. And to the speaker that have just spoken, you have done well. You know, when we talk about relationship matters, sincerely, ma, I won't tease you, is a topic we should always emphasize on because as human beings, we are born to have conflicts. But when we are able to know the ways to resolve it, then definitely we'll be on the right track. So what I just want to say is that his presentation is awesome and I fully understood what he said. So for me, it's fine. It's fine. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you
you
so
so
much.
much. Thank you so much,
Lisa.
Ambassador. Thank you so much. I also want to call on Ambassador Roland Johnson. Do you have questions or do you have contribute to it? Ambassador Roland Johnson. Okay, we will be waiting for you while we call on Ambassador Amodu Koroman. Please open your camera if that is okay. And then we want you to contribute and comment and also ask your questions. Ambassador Amodu Koroman.
Yes, Prof. I'm actually sorry for coming in late. I have an for internet issue here, so I didn't get all the teachings. I came in late, so I'm sorry I can't contribute or ask a question right now because I came in late.
Okay. So you can then watch the video later. So we do understand because you actually joined us earlier and then probably because of what you have to do, because I noticed you joined us earlier. That's fine. Maybe I will ask Ambassador Sarah, do you have anything to comment and also to ask question? Ambassador Sarah? Okay. While we are waiting, okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you. Do you want to open
Oh,
your camera?
okay. I'm actually at work.
Okay. Right. Okay. So do you want to contribute or comment or ask question?
For the introduction today, I just want to say a very big thank you to the speaker. He did a very, very good job. And for now, I don't really have any question. Just
Okay.
keep learning for now.
Or learning for
Yes,
now.
I got
Okay.
some lines down.
All right then.
Thank you so
That's
much.
good. That's good. Or do you want to just tell us one point of what you've learned?
Okay, I learned about identifying common conflicts when he talked about the social conflicts. Concerning the social conflict these days, you know, a lot of social media controversies and all that, and personal issues. You know, when you post something online, a lot of people get to misunderstood or misunderstand the issues, especially when you post things concerning the conflict maybe in the northern part here where we are, the economics is not this. People tend to come after you saying, oh, you're not supposed to make such kind of comments, you're not supposed to do this and all that. So I learned about how to identify such issue. When you see deviation from normal, you should be able to maybe step back and look forward.
Okay, that's a good one. Thank you so much for contributing. And like you said, you were still thinking about your questions. Probably you will ask the
Yes,
questions the more you watch the video later. The video will be
yes.
available on Facebook, Yes You Can International, and will also be available on YYCI.tv YouTube channel. So please,
Okay.
after this, you can listen to it or watch it and gain as much as you can gain from the video.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you, ma'am.
thank you so much for your contribution. All
Thank
right.
you.
It's Dr. Ambassador Roland Johnson. Are you ready for us? No. Yeah. Do you want to open your
Yeah,
camera?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Okay, right now I don't have a question, but I want to get a little clarity on that financial conflict, like where our presenter was saying, like for instance, if someone died and like for example, father died in the family, and then yeah, everyone is expecting what he left back, or who gonna inherit this, who gonna inherit that. I want to know if in that case, as the first child of the family, was that should that be your should you be involved in that financial conflict, or you should just sit aside and let the other one do their decision or take the decision?
Good question. Professor Subrata, you want to answer that question?
Yeah. Can you please repeat the question?
Do you want to speak louder and repeat the question?
Okay, am I louder now?
Yes.
Yeah, you are.
Okay, I said like for the financial conflict you spoke about. For instance, I'm the older child of my father, and then he happened to pass off, and then we the other, let's say the elders are sitting to discuss, and they are here. Someone is like, "This belongs to me. This belongs to me." Everyone is fighting for what he left back. So in that case, as an elder child, should I sit and just watch, or should I be involved in such financial conflict, or sit and allow the elders to make their decision?
Well, what you should do, as I said, is you should have transcendent relations, right? So the thing is that it is always advisable that you do something on your own. So whatever, you may be the only child of your parents, if I got you right, if that is a question, right? So you
Yeah,
should actually take consensus and take uh, everyone into consideration into the decision making if they are the stakeholders to some extent, maybe your elders or something like that, that you should do.
yeah,
But you should also understand that there are, again, a lot of negative people who are there. So please try to avoid that, because people try to take advantage of simplicity, and many a times they want to only join because they want to understand that what their gains are, right, and not help you. Even that happens in a family, so that results in conflict.
okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much,
All right,
Dr.
thank you.
Subrata.
Thank you.
And thank you so much, Ambassador Roland, for that important question. The only thing I will just add to that is that always apply wisdom, in a sense that you can only give what you have. That's number one. Number two, you don't stress yourself unnecessary, although you are one of the elders of the family, but it is what you have that you will give. In terms of involving in the discussion of the family, yes, it is right. It's your right to be part of the discussion, because it is during this discussion that there will be a lot of conversation. And from that conversation, you will be able to hear others of their opinions and ideas. And also, you also will be able to express yourself, your views, your ideas about it. Yes, it might be a conflict where they might not entertain everything that you've said, but the fact that you exercise your right to be there and also to to contribute to the decision making is very, very important. But like I said, you need to apply wisdom in terms of your own contribution, in terms of financially. You can only give what you have. If you can express it clearly for them to understand, I believe that there shouldn't be any problem with that. So apply wisdom and also do what you can do. Do your best and leave the rest. Am I clear? Yeah.
Yeah.
So just to contribute to what Professor Subrata have said, apply wisdom, and also it is your right to involve in the conversation. But you can only express yourself. But then it might be a situation where whatever you said might not be 100% accepted, but at least probably few of it. But the only thing is you cannot give what you don't have. So that's another thing. So you need to communicate it with them.
True.
And also others in that place will be able to do one thing or the other as well regarding this issue. So I believe we've been able to discuss that. Thank you so much for your question. See, these are all the conflicts that will come up in family, and we just have to have the right information to be able to tackle it, or information that will be able to handle any crisis, and also information to be able to also express ourselves. Communication is very important, but don't shy away from it. Be part of it. Feel free to exercise your right. Feel free to express yourself, but do what you can do according to your own ability and capability. Thank you. Okay. Any questions or comments from my PA, Ambassador Lukman? Do you have anything to say at the moment? Because I might want to be the next speaker. So do you have anything to say?
Good morning from Nigeria. I don't have more to say because for my short time here, although I've learned a lot of things from our amiable speaker, Dr. Subrata. About my contribution to this platform conference is that how can we, for instance, building, maintaining trust, is important to our relationship. So when it is shattered, that is, when it crumbles, how can we effectively rebuild that trust? You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
As in, the relationship we are making maybe sometimes be broken due to their actions or behaviors that betray the foundation of that relationship. So when I want to rebuild it back, how can we effectively rebuild it after it has been broken?
Good question. Over to you, sir.
Yeah. Again, I just want, Ma, if you can just repeat it for me.
Okay. Do you want to repeat it clearly?
All right.
There was some
What
network issue actually.
what I'm trying to say is that building and maintaining trust, is fundamental to the health and success of every one of us. And this trust, I'm trying to say, is broken due to actions or maybe behaviors that betray the foundation of that very relationship. So what I'm trying to ask is that how can we effectively rebuild that trust after it has been broken? When the relationship is shattered, is broken, many people try to rebuild it in one way or the other. So what I'm trying to ask you is that how can we effectively rebuild that trust after it has been broken?
Right. Good question.
Yeah, if I've got it properly, right? So when we talk about relationship, I always say that, empathy is very important, right? So, practice empathy. And as respected Ma always says that, you practice your wisdom, and, you always go for sustainable relationships. So, if I've got the question properly, so uh, I think this is what the answer can be, right? And use your judiciousness for maintaining relations. Is that the question? Have I answered it properly?
Yes,
Yes. No,
yes.
sir.
Thank
Okay,
you
thank you
so
so much.
much. Thank you so much. There are various ways as well, just for me to conclude, for me to just add to what Professor Subrata had said. There are many ways, so you need to research for it. But one of it is what Professor have said. And then another thing I would like to add to it is that you need to assess the situation first before you can know the solution for that particular thing. You need to assess the situation, because sometimes we all tend to blame others, the other side. And sometimes maybe we also contributed to that problem. So that is why we need to lay back a bit and assess it. What went wrong? Why is it like that? You understand? See how you personally has contributed to it. So that also will make you to want to address it properly. So apart from what Professor Subrata have said, that you have to show empathy, and at the same time, you also need to assess it. Because when you assess it and you know the reason why those things are happening, then you can find solution to that situation. Am I clear?
Yes. Thank you, ma. Thank you, ma.
Okay.
I really
All right. Right. Now, unfortunately, our next speaker could not join because of the connectivity. I don't know what happened today, but like we said, we've been going through all this since last year. Since last week, we've been going through all this connectivity, and that will not stop us. He has already sent his slides to us. Uh, I won't be in a position for me to read the slides because I tried to send it to my email, but I will see if I can try to do that. But meanwhile, I'm also a speaker today, so I will just share the information about YYCI or the announcement, and then I will just do a thorough teaching on my own side. Thank you so much for joining us. Okay, so let's